By the time you get in the upper layers, like the stratum corneum, the stratum lucidum, they'll flatten cells. So it's called stratified squamous. That's what you have here. So the cells in the surface are definitely flattened down the layers. If you go down to the base here, you're more cuboidal. Okay. And then you also have a very thick layer here of what? What is this? It's a lamina propria here. So a thick layer of lamina propria, that's connected to your deep epithelium. You can see it here. It's all lamina propria. Over here to the edge. Okay, then when you get down here, the tissue starts to become wavy. This is smooth muscle. You can just call it smooth muscle. Then on the very outside, you've got connective tissue of the adventitia, which supports the organ. So this is adventitia. The wavy material here, this is smooth muscle. And up here, we're back to the lamina propria. And then again, the superficial layer here, the epithelium, and non-keratinized stratified squamous. Any questions? Okay, lastly, the section to the mammary glands. The milk-producing glands in the breast. You can see it here. You have clusters of cells here. These are the alveoli. They secrete the milk. What hormone stimulates milk production? Prolactin. Okay. What hormone stimulates the release of milk from the breast?
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin. What does oxytocin also do?
Stimulates smooth muscle contraction for labor.
Stimulates smooth muscle contraction, like in labor and delivery in the uterus, for example. Okay. So the milk is produced in these alveoli. It's then released into large cavities, which are the ducts, like you see here. These are lactiferous ducts. Before the lactiferous ducts penetrate the nipple, there's a slight enlargement. What are those called?
A&PII.
Lactiferous sinuses. Lactiferous sinuses. When the milk is released through the nipple, there's a pigmented area around the nipple. What's that referred to as?
Areola.
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 So here's a lactiferous duct here. These would be the alveoli, the milk-producing cells. And again, you can probably see them better on the model of the breast. You might want to take a look at that on your website. Okay. Any other questions? Simple slide. Thank you. Okay. You should also, again, make sure you know the cells associated here with Spermatogenesis and Oogenesis. On this one, I want you to be able to identify the individual cells. I also want you to know those cells are haploidentiform, and if we're a human cell, which is even not, how many chromosomes do you have to see in the nucleus? Okay, on the one side here, Spermatogenesis, formation of sperm cells. On the other side, Oogenesis. So this represents spermatogenesis. Where does it occur?
In the testes.
The walls of seminiferous tubules, not seminiferous. Seminiferous tubules. Okay. This is Oogenesis. Where does it occur? within a follicle in the ovary. Okay, each follicle has a developing egg cell. That's usually represented. Now, let's go through spermatogenesis first. You start, ignore these. This is declaration. You didn't have a sperm egg cell up here in the seminiferous tubule. All right. This is the stem cell. It's called the spermatogonium. Haploid or diploid?
Haploid.
It's
Diploid.
It's diploid. How do you know? Just by looking at the cell. What are we looking for in a diploid cell? What do you see? Chromosomes in pairs. How many pairs of chromosomes do we have here?
3 pairs.
Huh? In this cell?
No pairs.
3 pairs for a total of 6. Okay? Doesn't matter if they're single-stranded or double-stranded. It's whether chromosomes are paired or not. If they're paired, it is diploid. If they're not paired, it's haploid. Okay? So this cell is your stem cell. It undergoes mitosis. Here's another stem cell and the primary spermatocyte. So all these cells up to here are diploid because they've been produced by mitosis, which maintains the chromosome number. Got a diploid cell dividing by mitosis, got a diploid daughter cells. This cell then, the primary spermatocyte, undergoes meiosis 1, produces 2 daughter cells here and here. This one's already in anaphase, okay, of meiosis 2. What are these cells called? Secondary spermatocyte, okay? So at the end of meiosis 1, you would have haploid daughter cells, secondary spermatocytes. How can we tell that's a haploid cell?
It's not paired.
Chromosomes are not paired. We started with 6 up here. How many chromosomes in this cell? 3. Even though they're double-stranded, it doesn't make any difference. They're not paired, so it's haploid cell. The secondary spermatocytes undergo meiosis 2, and all you're doing in meiosis 2 is splitting double-stranded chromosomes into single-stranded. You're not changing the chromosome number. Start with haploid cells, and end with haploid daughter cells. What are these called? Spermatids. Okay, so secondary spermatocytes form spermatids, all haploid. Okay, so from the secondary spermatocyte down, everything is haploid. These cells then produce the sperm cells, and these are not to scale. What kind of nuclear division is involved here? Mitosis, meiosis?
None. None.
What?
None.
No, that's right. This process is called spermatogenesis. It involves not cell division, but maturation. 3 significant events occur. What are they? Going from a spermatid to a sperm cell. Okay. Forming the flagella, that's pretty obvious.
Shedding
excess cytoplasm. And the third thing, which you don't see on here,
The formation of acrosome.
forming the acrosome. What's the acrosome?
Enzymes.
A bag of digestive enzymes. Why does the sperm need digestive enzymes? Penetrate the barriers around the egg cell, which would be the corona radiata, the cells that stay with it from the follicle,
and the septum.
and the membrane, the zona pellucida. Okay? You can see for one stem cell, you only get 4 gametes, 4 sperm cells. Okay? All right, here's oogenesis. Again, you start with a diploid stem cell. This is called the oogonium. It reproduces by mitosis to produce another oogonium and a primary spermatocyte. So all these cells are diploid. I say primary oocyte. Okay, primary oocyte. Okay. So the oogonium and the primary oocyte are all diploid. The primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1 and forms 2 daughter cells, which are haploid. A secondary oocyte and a polar body. Now these are not to scale. The polar body is actually much smaller than shown here. Polar body is just a way to get rid of excess chromosomes without wasting a lot of cytoplasm in the process. So almost all the cytoplasm stays with the developing egg cell, in this case the secondary oocyte. Very little goes into the polar body. These cells then undergo meiosis 2. Okay, so the secondary oocyte is eventually going to become the egg cell, mature egg cell, ovum. The polar body may divide and produce more polar bodies, but it doesn't make any difference because they're eventually all going to degenerate. Okay? So this represents the mature ovum, which is the daughter cell of this secondary oocyte. And this model is not exactly accurate. Why? What would you expect to see here in the egg cell?
Sperm.
A sperm cell. would have entered to stimulate the secondary oocyte to complete development and become a mature egg or ovum, which you see here. Then eventually, of course, the chromosomes come together, and you have your diploid zygote, or fertilized egg cell. This then begins embryonic development and continues to form the embryo and eventually it goes into the fetus.
It doesn't do meiosis 2 unless it's fertilized, right?
Yes. The secondary oocyte, which is the stage the egg is in when it's ovulated, okay? It will not mature, it will not complete secondary meiosis 2 and become mature until it's fertilized. You have to have a sperm cell coming in the cytomeiosis.
Where does the sperm enter the egg cell? Like what stage is the sperm enter the cell, egg cell?
The sperm would actually enter this cell.
That's where you can say this.
So not the
Actually,
secondary
the secondary
follicle?
oocyte will become the mature egg.
What is this on here?
Those
I
represent
don't get it.
photon.
No, I mean this, like you have this one and it's the daughter cell and it makes this. What's going on here?
Well, actually, it's just arrested in development. This is all secondary oocyte. It's going to stay this
So it's
way
just saying-
until it is fertilized.
Okay.
And then it's going to become a mature ovum egg. So I said, this is not quite accurate. There should be a sperm cell here.
But these
There's the total
two, they came from this one splitting, going through meiosis 2 as well. Just like how this one splits into those two, this one also splits and it's these two.
Yeah, you can produce more fertility, but again, the
They're all going to be, yeah,
So what kind of question are you gonna ask? I mean, there's a
Name
lot
the
of
cell.
stuff.
Name the cell.
Okay.
generate.
It wouldn't
Haploid or
really,
diploid?
not really gonna
How many
put,
chromosomes are for a human cell?
Okay.
And that's what you
What
need.
stage is it going through?
Probably ask the cell, haploid or diploid, how many chromosomes in a human cell? That's what I'm sure.
For primary oocyte, as far as the number of chromosomes, it's the same as a primary spermatocyte, which is 23.
23 pairs, because these are diploid cells.
Yeah.
They don't become haploid until you get to the secondary oocyte and the secondary spermatocyte. Those are haploid. From then on, everything's haploid.
so the haploid, how many chromosomes?
In humans, 23 single chromosomes.
Okay, so
Diploid 23 pairs of 46 total.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I mean. That's in human. Because these are all human cells. Make it simple, we're just giving you 3 pairs of chromosomes.
You get this one?
This is the models now.
Yeah. Why don't we start
This one. This was.
with the ovary? In fact, first, let me go, no, never mind, we'll do this one first. Okay, the ovary. On this one, you should be able to pick out, of course, the region where the follicles develop. What do you call that? Cortex, the inner region where no follicles, there's got blood vessels, no fibers and so on. Okay, and you've got the follicles, which you'll be able to pick out. What are the small ones here, the yellow ones here? Primordial. And then eventually they begin to develop into these.
Primary.
Primary, then to secondary,